This is what George W. Bush called shorthanding it. And that's when you just imply a bunch of lies and hope that people just infer them. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it sounded like he was just saying that they were about to get a nuke if we didn't do this.
Bringing it up to current day, and now we're in the situation where we have a lot of people saying, oh, we can't trust Iran. Well, duh. I mean, you can't trust anybody, but we also can't trust Israel. And we saw this week, CNN released a montage of Netanyahu fear-mongering about this issue, and he's been doing it for a couple of decades. We can play that really quickly. It's very brief, just so that I know they played it on the show earlier, but let's just get an idea. This is over the course of decades of Netanyahu fear-mongering about Iran and their nuclear capabilities.
For attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. That would place a militant Islamic terror regime weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
It could be tomorrow. It could be today, 30 seconds from now. I mean, he's been saying this for decades, and it is astonishing to me that this is so effective on people, but it is. Fear is a very powerful manipulator. But what I think is so, just insane is that U.S. intelligence has been saying for years now, Scott, that there is no evidence. There's no evidence that Iran is seeking to create a nuclear weapon, including as recently as just March, when Tulsi Gabbard said as much in testimony in front of the Senate. We also have that clip. It's very brief. I'll play it quickly.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
So there you have it, Scott. What has changed since March, my friend? What has changed in the past, whatever it is, 90 days, that suddenly we need to be... Thank you. Thank you.
Only Donald Trump's deadline expired, and apparently that deadline really was apparently his promise to Netanyahu that if we can't get the deal that we want in this amount of time, and as we all knew, the question came down to the demand for a total cessation of all enrichment capability inside Iran, or not, which the Ayatollah was never going to give into, and everybody knew it. And the question was whether Donald Trump was going to compromise or not on that and figure out some kind of way to compromise. They talked about maybe a consortium even with the Saudis or whatever, but find a way for both sides to save face and get back in the thing. And Trump just decided that, nope, he was going to go ahead and let Netanyahu go ahead. And I would encourage your audience all to just listen very carefully to the way they talk about this. They just say, oh, well, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. This is what George W. Bush called shorthanding it. And that's when you just imply a bunch of lies and hope that people just infer them. Oh, I guess it sounded like he was just saying that they were about to get a nuke if we didn't do this. He didn't actually say that. He couldn't possibly explain how that's true, right? And when he was
asked, and what's crazy about it, Scott? What's crazy about it is that who are we to decide who gets to have a nuclear weapon and who doesn't? I mean, it's crazy that we think that we are the world's policemen, that we get to, this is a deterrent for other countries. We saw what happened to Gaddafi in Libya. We've seen the way that the United States conducts itself. And so the idea that the United States gets to tell people how and what they're allowed to have, when we're the only ones that have actually used nuclear weapons, we're the only country on earth that's actually done that. So it's just crazy to me. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think this means for Tulsi? Because many are calling for her to resign. I saw Dave Smith has been calling for her to resign. And she's proven over the years that, frankly, there aren't many issues she isn't willing to sit on both sides of. But she has to be under enormous pressure right now, because this is something that there's statements from her going back years and years and years. In fact, when she ran for president against Donald Trump, this was something that she called him out on. So what do you think that this looks like for Tulsi Gabbard right now?
Oh, I really don't know. I mean, this is always the problem that good and evil people have in government. They all think they're good, and they all think that everything would be worse if they weren't there. I've known a lot of good guys who stayed in the army for years and participated in battles that they wish they hadn't have been in, but they couldn't bear leaving their guys behind. And with Jimmy in charge, not this Jimmy, sorry. I always use Jimmy as a name for a funny example, but just with, leave Robert in charge of my group. No way. That guy's a loose cannon or whatever. I got to stay to do the best I can in the thing. And they all rationalize that way. All with power are afraid to lose it. Right. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, put yourself in her position. You could still tell Trump a lot of truth about a lot of things if you stay. And hey, DNI, talk about the ear of the king. You could,
Yeah.
you might not have won this fight, but you still got some. I got to say. I'm a half a mind either way. Obviously, there's a principled stand for her to take, but what if she can talk him out of the next stupid thing that he might do? It's a real dilemma for her. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think I think what's really important, and people are, I guess, are finding this very obvious when Trump says, "Well, I don't care what she says."
Yes.
I mean, he's not even bothering to give us George W. Bush saying, well, the intelligence community says it's so dangerous and I have to do this. He's saying the intelligence community says it's not. I don't care. And y'all
We don't
probably
care. I don't
remember
care what
in
you have to
George
say.
W. Bush's, in W. Bush's memoir, he cites a conversation with His Royal Majesty, King Abdullah over there, His Highness in Saudi, rather than Netanyahu or Ehud Olmert or something. But he still complains that, well, the CIA said that they didn't have a military program. So how was I supposed to attack them if my own intelligence agencies say that they're not doing anything? Well, here Donald Trump is going far beyond where W. Bush felt completely hemmed in. When the CIA was unwilling to lie for him in 2007 and 8, he said, well, okay, I guess the game is up. If the CIA won't lie for me, I can't just start a war when the CIA is telling everyone I'm lying, right?
Yeah.
And then, here we are. Here we are with Donald J. Trump, Mr. No New Wars.
Right? Mr. Peace, the peace president, Scott. He's the peace president. That's what I've been told anyway. He's the peace candidate.
Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto again, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.